as you know, the new Top Gun Maverick movie just came out, and it had some incredible air-to-air photography. Well, we've got the pilot that did all of it in the hangar. Welcome to In the Hangar. I'm Christy Wong.
And I'm Dan Millican. We are at Airventure at the Flying Eyes booth, and we love our sponsors, Flying Eyes. Use our discount code, taking off all caps one word, for 10% off. And also Colton Mortgage. Colton taking off for your mortgage or refi needs, and Marshall Protection Service. They're all pilots. And speaking of pilots, Christy,
we have an incredible pilot on today. We've got Kevin LaRosa, which may not sound that exciting until you find out what he does.
Kevin, thanks for coming, and what do you do?
You're right, it is kind of a boring name, but for a living, I'm an aerial coordinator and motion picture stunt pilot.
But it seems it's like so much more than that.
So in
You
general,
are Top Gun.
I'm the behind the scenes Top
There you
Gun.
go.
My job is to make them look good. On a movie like Top Gun Maverick, I was the aerial coordinator, which means I was responsible for all the flying we did on the movie, including the talent training. And that includes, the FAA permitting with my team and the actual logistics of how we go and do it. And I work with the Navy and my naval counterpart to put all those sequences together.
That is incredible. Now, I watched the movie, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I want to know everything.
Well, I'll tell you this. And I think most people watching this are aviation fanatics and aviation fans, but the first Top Gun movie is incredible. It's iconic, it's legendary. Right. We got to be part of making history. Top Gun Maverick is an iconic film that'll live on forever. It's going to inspire the next 3 or 4 generations of naval aviators and pilots, even civilian pilots, and I'm honored to have been a small part of that. It's an epic adventure in so many ways, and I can tell you from being there every single day on set, it was just as cool to be there real time and make it.
How did it come about? Tell me about how you got attached to this project.
Third generation pilot, second generation stunt pilot and aerial coordinator, and been working in the film business for about 12 to 14 years. But I was one of the few jet pilots, and I just saw my friend Clay Lacey here. He's one of my idols and inspirations. Clay worked on the first Top Gun, shooting the jet-to-jet aerials. But I became one of the few people in the world that shoots jet aerials as a jet camera pilot and aerial coordinator, so I was sort of positioned for the job. Knowing the movie was coming down the pipe, we decided we needed a platform that was better to fly, better technology, more maneuverable to make this incredible movie. So we built what's called the Cinejet. It's an L-39 with a $500,000 shot over gimbal on the front of this thing that's customized, and that's what allowed us to really get in there, get in the canyons, get in those dogfights, and give the audience that visceral thrill ride. Halfway through the movie, we also got a business jet with a shot over on it. My friend Jonathan Spano built that, and that allowed us to go out to the aircraft carrier, have much more range, more time on station. So every platform had a use. And I also flew a helicopter on the movie as a camera asset as well. And just so everyone knows, I'm an aviator, so I'm a camera pilot, but I have a brave soul riding on board who's the camera operator or an aerial DP. On Top Gun Maverick, that was Michael Fitzmaurice or David Knoll. And they ride on whatever I'm flying, the helicopter or the jets, and they're filming while I'm flying the aircraft.
As somebody who has worked with gimbals and air-to-air platforms, but nothing, of course, like that, was there a speed limitation that you could do on the L-39 to where the gimbal would not be able to hold it?
Yeah, that's a great question. We got our gimbal to sustain 350 knots in 3 Gs.
Oh my God.
Typically it was built for helicopters, so shot over, went to great lengths to do structural destruction to wind tunnel test this thing
Strong
to get
motors.
it to where we need. Yeah, stronger motors, stronger gears. 350 and 3G isn't enough. You think of the F-18s, they're going to break the sound barrier. They're going much faster.
They're going
a lot
9 Gs.
But my job is also to sell a differential of speed. Here's the analogy I like giving pilots because we understand this. If I have a camera platform that's an SR-71 and I'm doing Mach whatever, and I'm next to another SR-71 that's going the exact same speed, what do we see? We just see an aircraft floating in lens. It's sitting right there. What creates speed is a differential of speed. The forward movement through the lens as it translates through the camera lens. It creates foreground movement, background movement, compression, makes it more dynamic. So 3 Gs and 350 knots on the L-39 was acceptable because I could be in form with them when we needed to zoom in on actors or talent or have story points, but we can also get those guys to pour the coals to it and create some really cool separation and flybys.
the actors. Much has been talked about on social media and everything else on, Tom Cruise, making them go through pilot training and everything else. And so let's talk about the actors for a minute. Is Tom Cruise as every bit the pilot that he looks like?
Yeah, I mean, he impressed me every single day. I love his attention to detail and his commitment to perfection, and he really translates that into aviation. When we put together our briefs, not only was he attentive and listening, but he has such a wealth of knowledge just from his past aviation movies and aviation experience. He wanted nothing more than to help create the best product possible. And he inserted himself where he needed to be. He gave tips where we needed it. And he lended himself in every single way, including in a motivational way. It's one of my favorite things with him is he really does inspire the other cast and crew on set to just really make the best possible product. And that's really his core drive, which I love. It kind of motivates me. But as far as an aviator's concerned, I'd fly with him any day.
How many of those actors walked away wanting to go through actual pilot training?
I love that. There's one going through training right now,
Oh, nice.
Yes.
which is awesome. And then my good friend Glenn Powell actually got his license out of the movie. So my dad and I
Nice.
started their training in a Cessna 172 in the
Nice.
pilot training program. And he was logging time with my dad, who's a CFI, and he literally kept that going. And he's a certified pilot today.
That's amazing. See, I love that. See, for all you actors out there, being a pilot is way cooler.
And even the folks that didn't get their license on it, I always got to give credit where credit's due. Our cast went to great lengths to really understand being an aviator. I mean, this really extreme program that they did, 172s, then into an extra 300 with my friend Chuck Coleman, and then into the L39 with Randy Howell and the Patriot Jet team. By the time they got done with that program, they looked amazing. I mean, I would watch footage on debriefs every day, and we would sit there and we would just go, man, it looks like they're flying. They look perfect. So I feel like that core background, huge testament to Paramount and Tom Cruise and Joe Kosinski, really is what made them look phenomenal on camera. That was great.
Undoubtedly the best job in the world, just about. What's next for you?
Well, after Top Gun, I got to throw a plug in there for my next favorite movie coming out. It's Devotion. So that's Sony and Black Label Media. Devotion is based on actual true events that happened in the Korean War, which is kind of a forgotten war, if you ask me. Not a lot of people know about it, but there's some really heroic things that were done and that happened in that war, and some untold stories, and they're going to come to the big screen, including IMAX. So this Thanksgiving, we're going to see Devotion drop. We're going to start seeing more trailers for it, and what I love is when the Black Label media team came to me and said, Kev, we want to produce this movie, we want to make it happen. Can we do it like Top Gun? Can we do real flying, real stunts, practical airplanes? Of course, my answer is you got it. Absolutely, it's what I love doing. So we put together industry professionals and brought in Warbirds. We had Corsairs and Skyraiders and MiG-15s.
Oh my gosh,
Corsairs,
we have
my
to watch
favorite
this
plane in the
movie.
world, the
And
Corsair.
the movie is full of real flying and real stunts. We had some of the best of the best in the industry. I had Steve Hinton Sr. and Steve-O flying for me. I had Mike Oliver and Jim Martinelli from Erickson Museum flying for me. We really had some of the most industry top 1%ers flying these Warbirds. And the cool thing is we brought them to the correct element and atmosphere to make it real. We were operating in the snow, ice, de-icing ramps and airplanes. I mean, we put these Warbirds through the actual environments that they were operating in the Korean War. And let me tell you, that was no easy task. Modern day technology was struggling to make these airplanes, go to war for our movie, go fight for the screen every single day. So huge testament to the men and women that did it for real during that time period. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. That is incredible.
Last question. Your favorite aircraft to fly?
My favorite aircraft to fly that I'm currently flying would be the L-39 if I chose the jet. The L-39 is a really maneuverable, I find it to be a very safe and effective aircraft for what I do for camera flying. It's just really trustworthy, and I could get pinpoint accuracy. I got the camera way out on the nose, so I can shove that camera right up against the burners of an F-18 or get, feet away from a Corsair, through a canyon. So I love the maneuverability, and it's just fingertip light on the controls. My favorite helicopter platform is the H-125. That's the Airbus. That A-Star helicopter is super maneuverable. I take it all over the place, high altitude, low level, giant camera systems hang on it. It just delivers, makes me feel safe, and allows me to just not have to think about it. It's an extension of my body and lets me put my camera guy in the right spot, more importantly. But my favorite aircraft of all time is the P-51 Mustang. My
wow.
family had
Okay,
one
so
for
you're
a little bit.
51 Mustang guy.
P-51 D model, in my opinion, best aircraft
The
in the
D
entire
model.
world. Best looking aircraft in the entire world. Best sounding aircraft in
And
the
that's the
entire
one
world.
Tom Cruise is flying.
That's what he owns. Yeah, he
That he
flew
owns.
that in the movie.
Yeah.
Incredible flying in the end of the movie by Tom.
Yeah.
That was actually him flying.
Oh, and then he flew
That's
James
awesome.
Corden in that.
He sure did, and
sketch.
I chased him in the L-39 for that
For
whole
that-
sequence.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
so funny. We were just talking about that
Yeah,
this
so,
morning.
well, Kevin, listen, on behalf of millions of aviators, thank you for making such incredible, stimulating footage for us aviators that we could fall in love with.
It's my pleasure.
Hey, and if you need a really cool female aviator, let me know.
I know where to find you.
Yeah, exactly.
And thank you guys for watching. We really, really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to visit our sponsors. We'll put them up on the screen here. And Christy, close us out.
All right, you guys, like, subscribe, and share our content. We love to get our message out. We'll see you all next time.
In the hangar.